What's up, adventurers? It's another day. It's another adventure. I'm here in Cary, North Carolina. It's kind of like a suburb of Raleigh, North Carolina. And Raleigh is, of course, the capital of North Carolina. And there's a lot of really awesome Art Deco buildings here in the city. A lot of mid-century stuff I'm going to be taking you to this morning. But the place I thought I'd start you with here is across from a Bojangles. It's abandoned, but the Art Deco building itself is pretty awesome. And if it looks familiar to you, it's because the Duffer Brothers used it as inspiration for the radio station in the final season of Stranger Things. Let's go adventuring. So the name of the radio station you're looking at here is WPTF. I think it's 1500 watts, and it's here in Cary. It started in 1923, and they kind of got this Art Deco radio station built in 1930s, and it went abandoned sometime in the 80s, and they're still using the towers here as transmission towers. They're still using these, but the building itself is completely abandoned. And the Duffers actually used it as inspiration and built their own set outside of Atlanta and then bulldozed it. But this is the inspiration for it. Apparently, the inside of it is completely intact. I've seen some people be able to get inside and get a little tour, but this particular building has been abandoned for many years. But it encapsulates that sort of 1930s Art Deco vibe that the Squawk radio station in Stranger Things was known for doing. And yeah, here it sits. It's just outside Cary, or in Cary, which is a what you call a, I guess, sort of a suburb of Raleigh, North Carolina. And here it sits. So what I'm going to do next is take you guys to another building, kind of as an interesting story that this Art Deco one has. And this is more strange things here in the city of Raleigh. Let's go to the next spot. All right, we're at location number 2 here in Cary, North Carolina, and this one's weird. So behind me, you see a house. Well, adventuring with Chris, it's just an ordinary house. What are you talking about? Bear with me as I tell you a story. So in the 1920s or so, this neighborhood started coming up, and they needed lots of extra water pressure going into houses. Well, the problem was with those water pressure, they needed to build some pumps to pump the water pressure into this growing neighborhood for houses. Well, those pumps were unsightly, and people in the neighborhood said, hey, man, we don't want those pumps and pipes sticking out all over town in this beautiful new neighborhood. So the city said, we'll tell you what we'll do. We will build a house on top of the pumps. It's a fake house, but it'll make at least the neighborhood look a little more sightly instead of unsightly. And so the city did that. In 1981, they decided to keep up with this too, the house. Well, if you look right here, for example, it's not window at all. It's vents. And if you look over here, you'll see more vents inside this quote-unquote house, because it's not a house at all. It's a facade, I guess you could call it, where the city has built pipes and pumps underneath here. So this is a fake house. I don't know why it reminds me of Nuketown from, and as you can see, this is the back. This reminds me of Nuketown from the 60s during the missile crisis, where they were testing out nuclear bombs on fake houses. But here you go, property of City of Raleigh, no trespassing, and I won't. But as you can see, this is the back of the house. But it's actually a pumping station. Now, I've seen some people get pictures of the inside of it. In the back of it here is the there is an access point from the neighborhood behind it. I came from the front, but yeah, this is a fake house. So I was doing some more reading while I'm standing here, and there's 3 large seafoam green pumps that are inside of this house. And they have a little thing up here from when they did it in 1981. It's called the Hands Beautification Project, installed by the City of Raleigh Parks and Recreation Department. So Parks and Rec is the one that actually does it. But if you look here, there's no, like, wait a minute. What are these windows? It's all fake. It's all designed to cover up giant pumps. And there's things that'll warn you to let you know this isn't a house. First of all, it's you see there's confined space, do not enter. There's like a lot of odd things that would tell you this is in fact not a real house. And then there's other vents here hidden. And this is stuff you'd see like on a Hollywood backlot. There's a hidden vent here as well for venting. And then you see here public utilities, no trespassing. And I'm not going inside, so so clever, very clever, in order to get people to just keep driving by, and they're not going to vandalize it. There's also 2 large towers here. No one's going to vandalize this, though, because I think it's an actual house. It's not. This is like my kind of weird history right here. Pumping station inside of there. I'm going to include some interior photos to show you guys what the inside of it looks like. So it's 3215. So next time you're driving by 3215 Wade Avenue here in Raleigh and you see this house, it's not a house. It's a pumping station disguised as a house. It is a facade that people just drive by, and the Parks and Recreation Department cleverly built some water pumping station around this house. Let's go to the next place. All right, now I've made my way to this beautiful park here in Raleigh that used to be a train depot. And oh my God, I'm going to show you guys the inside of this building here on my right, where they've got a carousel floating around. But I really came over here to check out this statue, but it looks like they're slightly under construction. But I'm right near it, close enough to where I can show you guys what I'm looking at. In here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and North Carolina in general, Mount Airy, they love Andy Griffith. And this particular park has a statue of Andy and Opie. There they are right there in bronze. I can't quite get any closer because they're currently working on this park. It looks like they're doing some renovations here. But there they are themselves, Andy and Opie Taylor. I'm meant to send this to my mom. She is a huge fan of the show. But this is at this park here in North Carolina. Only info I can find is that they dedicated it in 2003, and that they were doing it because, of course, the love the show gave to the state of North Carolina. This park is just fantastic, though. Otherwise, I mean, it's really nice. They took a train depot. Let me walk around here. You can hear the Canadian geese serenading us. This is called Lake Howell at Pullen Park. And they're replacing the shoreline. Okay. A little bit of erosion happened there. There's a little bit of explanation as to what they're doing. February 2nd through March 31st. Well, looks like they're a little over. April through August, the lake area is closed. So they should be done in the fall. Water's edge safety, enhancing long-term accessibility. That's why we can't quite access the Andy and Opie statue. But here's the park itself. And I'm not going to try and talk over the copyright music because I don't want my video getting flagged. But this is the old train depot. And again, what I like to do is I like to go to Atlas Obscura and Roadside America if you're ever interested in finding these little weird places I always find. And you just type in where you're at and what's around the area, and you'll end up just finding all sorts of really interesting, odd things, like that house I just left that used to have a facade that, of course, is an actual pumping station inside of it. And the restrooms here are really nice. I just had to use the restroom myself. But this is really nice. They've got a train that goes around the property. They've got Pullen Park penny press here. All right. Spot where you go buy all your tickets. This is a really nice park, though. I have no idea this was even here. You're in Raleigh, North Carolina. Here's the building I'm going to show you that's got the carousel inside of it. See if I can pop my head in there. Really well done park here. Bravo. And I don't know if it used to be as nice as it is, or they've just improved it. It's been here since the 1800s. Here comes the little train. Here's the children's train. It's got some adults on it. And as you can see here, they've got an old train you can actually go in and walk through, which I'm about to do. Shake, rattle, and roll reminds me of uranium fever. Let's go inside here real quick. Oh, wow. Look at this. They've really fixed it up. This is neat. It smells like oil in here. This is really well done. There's the train track. Little children's train track back down here. All right, let's go check out the carousel. Junior Conductor Adventures. This is so bizarre. So this is the building next to the Andy and Opie statue that has the carousel inside of it. I'm trying to see if I can get you guys. This is a 1921 Denzel carousel, so it's super old too. 1 ticket per guest. You gotta get them at the tickets office. No food or drinks, and no unruly behavior. It's funny because the last carousel I saw was the one that had cats. I don't know if I'm able to get in without a ticket, but I just thought I'd show you guys this. This is pretty neat. All right, so I was able to put my head in and get some video here of the carousel itself. Wow. They've really taken good care of this. This is out of Philadelphia. So before I leave this park, I hear the train coming, so I'm going to get you guys some footage. And in honor of Adam LeWoo, instead of saying, "Here comes the monorail," we're going to go, "There goes the train." Let's check it out. All right, there we go, folks. Here in Raleigh, North Carolina. There goes the train. It is the people, adults, children. Look at that. Sorry, that was entertaining. This place is definitely honoring your inner child. And it's here in Raleigh. Old Raleigh. Cary/Raleigh, North Carolina, I guess you could say. All right, I'm heading back to the car. I've got one more spot I want to show you guys, and then we're going to call it a day. Maybe end in a Buc-ee's. We'll see if we can find a Buc-ee's trip to end things here. That's the name of the park, though. Pullen Park. Pullen Park. All right, I'll see you guys in a minute. All right, adventurers, we're back. I'm part of this weird North Carolina series here. I am in Cape Fear, North Carolina. I'm working my way down a bridge here over the Cape Fear River because I want to show you something really, really cool. I promise I'm on a sidewalk. It's about as safe as I can be. All right, so story goes, this World War II boat was actually left here, decommissioned from World War II. It escorted destroyers and other boats away from submarines during World War II and decommissioned, and now it sits here on the Cape Fear River. Let's check it out. So there's not much left of it, but from what I understand, it did see active duty in World War II, and actually the boat did protect destroyers and other troop vessels during World War II from German U-boats in the Atlantic Ocean. In 1942, it was made, and it did some tours of duty in the Atlantic protecting boats. The actual name for it, though, is PC-1084, and after it was decommissioned, it was auctioned off by the Army. There's an Army base here, Fort Bragg, and they gave it over to a guy who worked for Pepsi. He used it as a floating barge for a while. Another guy used it as a floating dance hall, and then eventually it was abandoned, jettisoned, and now it sits here on the Cape Fear River. Occasionally, archaeologists go down from the local university to check it out, do a little bit of exploring on it. But other than that, this is where she sat. I'll include some photos of what these looked like when they were in their full service and commission. What I find most interesting is it was only used from 1943, and then they decommissioned it in 1945, but it did protect U-boats from U-boats. Anyways, we're going to walk through back from this bridge here on the sidewalk over the Cape Fear River here in Cape Fear, North Carolina, to the next location, which is going to be Buc-ee's. I'm going to take you guys to the Florence, South Carolina Buc-ee's, and we'll wrap the video up there. I'll see you at the next and last stop of this weird North Carolina video. Actually, you know what? There's a sombrero at south of the border that needs riding. Last time I was here, I didn't get a chance to ride it, so let's do that next. Well, adventurers, I promised you on the last video I was going to do something exciting for the last one. Well, last time I saw you, I was showing you a old boat from World War II. Now we rode the giant sombrero up here at south of the border. I've always wanted to do this. I drove by here last summer, and we stopped off and we rode around the property and just kind of showed you things. But now we paid the $4 each in cash, and we rode it to the top, and it's got a pretty good view here. I'll give it to you. I'll show you some of the view. But if you ever see a giant sombrero, I-95 north or I-95 south from going to South Carolina or going to North Carolina, and you see this sombrero, take it up, pull off. The history of the place is kind of interesting. It used to be a bar called Pedro's back in the 40s when the Prohibition in some states were still anti-liquor. And this particular place over the border when North Carolina was anti-liquor was the only place you could get liquor. So let's take a look at the view. All right, so this is looking to Georgia. This is going in South Carolina. So this is going south on I-95 right now to South Carolina. This is North Carolina, I-95 north. And you can see the south of the border sign. The place is weird, but definitely drop off and make a stop. You have to do it at least once. All right, so now we're going to walk over here. This is looking north. This is east. So somewhere that way is the Atlantic Ocean and Wilmington Beach, North Carolina. And this is facing into western part of North Carolina. Really cool view up here. Totally awesome. Well, it has been fun, guys. I'm ending my trip here at Buc-ee's in Florence. It's been about a week here spending in weird North Carolina, hiking, all kinds of other stuff. I'm going to go inside and get a chicken burrito. I'll catch you guys in the next adventuring quiz. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I go live 5 days a week, 3 times a day, 15 times total. I'll catch you guys in the next adventuring with Chris. Stay weird.